WIBTA for suing my DIL? I am not Oop. Oop is you, Imaginary Net 2379. She posted in r, Am I the Asshole? Your daily fun fact to prevent spoilers on mobile. You, Malistieras requested raccoons. Raccoons are highly intelligent animals, with an IQ only slightly lower than monkeys and apes. They apparently defecate in specific communal sites called latrines. Mood spoiler. Happy ending. Less than. Original post. January 1st, 2023. Edit. They aren't married. Referring to her as DIL is just easier for the sake of storytelling. Our son and DIL, 26 have been together for 2 years and live together. We've always thought she a very nice girl and she seems to make my son happy. So no problem from us. Our son has his own law firm that he's currently trying to get started. We're very proud of him. And we're fortunate enough to help him with a startup loan. DIL works a retail job that she's very happy with. Some time ago husband and I were over at their apartment and we decided to order some food. Husband and I wanted to pay. And since DIL were ordering from her phone, we gave her our card so she could draw the money from our account. We thought it goes without saying this was to draw an amount once for the lunch. However, DIL apparently put our card into her Apple Pay and have been using it since. We didn't notice for some months but recently saw withdrawals we didn't recognize. We had our accountant look into it, and he discovered that DIL has been using our card on her phone and that she's spent around $17K. We were quite shocked and called her up and asked why the hell she's been using our card. She got very defensive, tries to deny it and eventually said she was entitled to it. And why do we care since we haven't noticed her use over 4 months? We told her she needed to pay us back immediately or we'd report her actions for theft. She apparently doesn't have the money to pay us back. We've gone to our son and he's offered to pay us back even though he actually cannot afford to. This isn't about the money for us, but more about the fact that she's stolen a huge amount of money. While we are comfortable and it took us time to notice, we still recognize the seriousness of stealing $17 US. Our son has completely dismissed her behavior and excused it as her being stressed. She's taken no responsibility, and we're honestly wanting to go forward with the police report to teach her consequences to her actions. Would we be tough for doing this? Relevant comments. Someone says to give her one more chance to fess up because they might go after her son. This was also our thought. However, she has no savings and doesn't make a lot of money. If we demand she pays us back, the money will be coming from our son. We gave him money to start his new company, and making him pay us back kind of defeats the purpose. DIL has showed no remorse and is offended we're mad. Also, they aren't married, referring to her as DIL is just easier. Said it wouldn't have any legal consequences for our son. What did she spend it on? Our accountant gave us a debrief. She was mostly spending it on big lunch, dinner outings, new clothes, jewelry and handbags. Our son wasn't aware as far as we knew and seemed shocked when we told him. I don't know what changed, but he's taken her side afterwards and they haven't been very communicative since. We've tried reaching out. Oop is voted NTA. Update post. January 18th, 2023. Thank you for all your feedback. I got many requests for an update, so here goes. We were utter and completely shocked with our son's nonchalant way of handling this, and at a loss. We desperately wanted to fight for our son, but since initial confrontation he had been avoiding us. We decided we would to take the advice and call the police to press charges. However, we wanted to let our son know before doing so. Husband and I decided to show up at his office since he had been ignoring our calls and texts. I know this might sound boundary crossing to some, but we desperately wanted to talk to our son. Initially he got angry and asked us to leave, but he calmed down and agreed to hear us out. We told him our side of the story, and to say the least, he was shocked. He apologized profusely, cried a little, and begged for forgiveness. He told us he was blinded by love, working 14 hours a day and under the impression we had gifted his GF the money. His girlfriend had apparently told him that we wanted to spoil her as our future DIL, and that we gave her carte blanche to buy herself nice things as a way to welcome her to the family, and that we'd since changed our minds on spoiling her and now wanted all the money back, knowing she can't afford it. She had told him we did that as a manipulative way to force her out of his life, to try and control him. He was also under the impression she'd spent maybe $35K and not $17K. He was livid and was actually the one who in the end convinced us to pursue legal action. He actually helped us call the police right then and there at his office after our talk. We then went with him home and helped him pack up all her stuff before she came home. She wasn't on the lease, living rent-free, so kicking her out was no issue. We offered to stay with him for the blow-up, but he wanted to handle it on his own. From what he's told me, she didn't take this lightly. So our son's ex has now been pressed with charges and we're awaiting further information. Like some of you pointed out, it's a sufficient amount and she's been pressed with criminal charges. Our bank has also been informed and we're told we'll likely get our money back. She blew up on the entire family, but no one but our other DIL is taking her side. Other DIL is a whole story for another time perhaps, but we are now glad to officially announce that we are thief-free in the family. We appreciate all your feedback, advice and engagement. I did not mark this as concluded, as we could still get an update about what happens with the charges pressed against the ex. If someone slips $17 under me, I may not notice, especially if they deleted the email I get. For each transaction, I may not notice 170, but 17,000? I need to hobnob in richer circles, I guess. On multiple occasions, my mom has given me her credit card to pay for food to be delivered. Never occurred to me to just keep using the card until I'd run up thousands of dollars of charges. Sucks to be me. Their son just believed that they'd gifted his GF thousands of dollars and never mentioned it to him. How dumb is this girl? Did she think that they would just be okay with that type of spending? That they would say, "No problem, girl," and that the son would just never speak to his parents again? I look forward to the update, and hopefully DIL too. Oh. Glad it ended well, but damn, I can't imagine not noticing 17K gone lol. If the son makes it with the law firm, future earnings would have been fantastic. She threw that all away and now will have a criminal record and likely lose her job. Son dodged a massive bullet. I want to hear the other DIL story. We need a moratorium on reposting this story here until we have the other DIL story as an update. Disclaimer. Obviously, stealing from anyone is wrong. I'm happy this was a wake-up call for the son and that they are pursuing legal action against her theft. But how on earth could you not be tracking your finances more closely than that? If you were rich, I could even see not noticing 1,700. But 17K is a decent car. Wow. I am wondering where OOP lives. Because in many places, including most states, if they are American, the packing up of DIL's possessions and immediately kicking her out of the house would be an illegal eviction, regardless of whether she was on the lease or contributed to the rent. I am a lawyer, and although I generally try to avoid taking eviction cases, because they can be a nightmare, I've handled a number of them over the past few years. In my state, DIL could very easily sue OOP's son, and would almost certainly win some amount of damages. I want to know about the other DIL, as I kinda wonder if their kids attract the same sort of partners. Even if the parents had told her to use their card for stuff. What decent person buys random junk totaling in the thousands on someone else's dime? Just, what? And the son was okay with $3,000 to $5,000 bucks. The correct number is 0 unless medical emergencies or grandkids are involved. Just so much ick on DIL's end. Good Lord. I have a hard time wrapping my mind around how easily some people will steal other people's money. Without a second thought. And more. They're happy about it. It's astonishing. It would be funny to see the son in our relationship advice saying that his parents tried to manipulate his wife by giving her money and then asking it back, and everyone saying to go and see with the parents. Lol. Oh man. I work in credit card billing. This is my nightmare call right here. I hate that for op. I remember this story and thinking, what kind of shady lawyer is the son if he wants them to overlook the fact his fiancée stole $17,000 from his parents? I'm glad to find out he just didn't know the truth. People get so greedy and stupid. Credit card theft is no joke and you obviously shouldn't do it. But I'm guessing if she had just used their card occasionally to buy a nice lunch or SMTH small here and there, it probably would have flown under their radar. And she would have gotten to keep living rent-free. Other DIL is a whole story for another time perhaps, but we are now glad to officially announce that we are thief-free in the family. Just wait till they find out what kind of people side with thieves. There is absolutely zero chance that the bank assured them they would get their money back. They knowingly gave their credit card information to her. They're in breaching the terms and conditions. There's no grounds for a charge back to the merchants. Again, given the circumstances outlined. And usually when a bank is able to get funds back from an offender like this, it's because they have the funds available in their account, which can then be clawed back. Highly unlikely to be applicable in this instance. If this story is true, then the most likely next steps are that the criminal proceedings are worked through and then they are left to pursue her for what she owes as a civil matter. Sigh. They didn't press charges, they reported the crime to the police and filled a police report. The district attorney and a grand jury will decide if charges are filed.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.